I remember several years ago, I was at an event with an older sister of mine where they served us with melon soup, what we call egusi soup. Of course, some were asked to choose either the bitter leaf or the melon soup. And they served the fufu, what we call fufu, the fermented tapioca swallow, which they normally wrap at events. You know what I mean by that. And so immediately the woman saw it. She expressed some kind of dislike that why do they serve fufu in this event? Why do they bring fufu? Why don't they bring semovita and other more decent foods? I somehow I agree with her. I saw from her perspective that time. But surprisingly, several years after that, I met that same woman in the village because we are from the same village. And she was at that time managing diabetes, managing her husband's diabetes. And so she came to buy gari around my own premises. I was wondering that, what is she doing with gari since she's managing diabetes? And I also remembered what she said at that event about gari and tapioca and all this stuff. So I was wondering, so I honestly, respectfully asked her that, what are you doing with this gari? And she said, do I know that gari is even better than that's all this semo and all these things? This woman is not so educated, but that was her comment. I said, really? She said, yes. That gari has better response when it comes to the blood sugar than all those this thing. So I remembered, though I didn't tell her, remember what she said then. Now, why am I remembering this thing? I'm remembering it because of the comments of a lot of us. Maybe they're commenting due to ignorance, or they just want to be on the opposite side. Some people, they love being on the opposite side of any discussion. So she actually changed her opinion had changed because she has now seen the reality. Because she's now managing diabetes. Because she's now older. She now changed and said this is now what she thinks about gari. This is not to say that we should all start consuming gari every day in large amount. Not at all. The purpose is to let us know that some of the things we are saying, I did too. Some of the views you have now, several years after, you obviously won't have the same view when you have tested it. Most of these things I'm sharing here are the things I've tested, the things I've gone through, I've experienced. That's why I'm sharing it, so that where I made mistake, where I erred, where I suffered due to ignorance, you will suffer there. That's the purpose of most of the videos. But yet, some people come in there, commenting this, that, showing that it's not true, that they have a better option, they have a better idea of what it is all about. That is it. Several years after now, call you back 10 years after, you'll be telling another story. If they show you that comment, you may delete it. That's exactly what we're saying. So be careful how you make comments. Don't just come to the comment section and be, writing anything you like. Something you've never reached up to 50 or 60 years. We are talking about something that pertains to someone of 70 years. Do you know how it feels like to be that age? Do you know how it feels like if you've never been a diabetic or pre-diabetic, or you've never managed one before? Do you know how it feels like? That's exactly what we were saying. So the bottom line is, the tapioca we see today, which we, look at as an old school kind of food. We looked at it as, uncivilized something like we saw it then. We looked at it as a smelly something, which all of us did, including myself. Today, if I tell you that I soak gari, this very gari we are saying, which is even quite expensive, some of you may be surprised. I do. I do occasionally soak gari because it is healthier than most of the fast foods we go for. It's fat-free. It's cholesterol-free. If you are hungry and I'm looking for a quick source of energy, I put a few spoons inside the water. Add my cashew nut, even if it's not available, whichever nut is available, I drop it inside. Sometimes if I like to add sea salt, yes, sea salt, add a little sea salt with over 82 nutrients. I mix it together and I go. I feel good. There's no trans fat there. There's no chemical. There's no oil. There's no preservatives and all the stuff that make us sick. That is the point. If you like this message, hit the follow button for me.